Hello. Damn. I always. So dumb. Oh. Star Wars. Welcome. The holy coffee tears. So yeah, I'm doing a little rendering. Wasn't much of a conversation. Focusing. Free to share something. That's something. Again. Test, test. This should be good, right? So I was saying, feel free to share or something. Caffeino man. So we got something to talk about, or anyone else. Your Instagram, yeah, for example, that would be something you could share. Did I go to art school? Yeah, I did. I went to a local college, basically. Um, yeah, it's called Saint Lucas, Antwerp. Um, yeah, in Belgium, schools often have are named after some Christian guy or you know some famous figure. Yeah, I'm from Belgium. So yeah, I went to art school, but yeah, it wasn't a school specifically for concept art. So um, when I went there, the teachers pretty much had no clue what concept art was. So I had a bit of a struggle there, being stubborn as I was, and kind of like uh, try to like show my teachers what what I was trying to do, but it was kind of a struggle. Let's see. Let me see. Xavier Despinay. Despina. Despinay. Funny that your name is Saint Luke here in the back here. So that was kind of the name of my school. And pretty cool buildings here. Some crazy detail. What's the size of those pages? It's like A4 or something. Cool, cool. Oh, look at that. Nice, nice. I like the shading. I like the volume you're getting. You know, with little S shadows. Yeah, man, pretty good. They're not far from each other. Yeah, in Belgium, it's either a school called the Academy or a school called Saint Luke in Antwerp. Yeah, I like the rendering, man. I like the characters, the detail. This one's nice. Inktober. Cool. Ballpoint pen. At school, using the colored paper and then taking a warm colored pencil, so you get that nice warm, cool contrast. Nice. I like it. So we get the, we get the clavicula coming here, right? And then this area, the breastbone. So we can see, we can kind of like notice when we look at the highlights, right? Okay, this is before you start rendering, you always have to make a note of like where the light is coming from. So this is like a typical paparazzi shot. So they're using like flashlights, uh, flashes, right? And if you look at the forehead here, you can kind of see the light is just like coming straight at her, right? So that's the reason why this top of the breastbone is there's like a gradient going like this, right? That's because the breastbone is right. It's like this, and then the neck, right? So if the camera is pointing straight at, right, this part is gonna be darker, right, because it's angled away from the light source. Oh, you went to New Edge. Mhm. Mhm. Hey, active time battle. Thank you. Yeah, I kind of have a problem. I skipped lunch and now I'm streaming. Shouldn't have done that because now I'm super hungry. And I also went running, so I used up all my breakfast calories. I am trying to lose some weight, but it's not the way to go. No, it's okay. I can't see you anyway. A rival school. Trying to gain weight when you have a straw body type is so hard. You gotta try, just get some like boxes of chocolate and start eating like every hour. See how fast you gain weight. Like some good, really good, like the ones where you try to, where you have a different flavor in each one of them. You know, if you like that, it won't take long. I promise you. Hey, Samuel. Mhm. How are you? Yeah, I always forget your Twitch name. I used to think I was like somebody who didn't like gain weight, but then I just realized I didn't really eat a lot. Because it's actually quite easy to gain weight if you eat what I eat. It's just a matter of like eating a bit more every day, I guess. Like I had this period where where I always ate breakfast and then I ate like three, like three. In Belgium, we call it like um, yeah, they're like croissants, right? But it's like different kinds, like really good ones. And then I just ate three of those. Um, it's called coffee cooker in Belgium. I'll show you. It looks like this, right? So those are all the good ones. This has like custard inside, and this is like with raisins. And I would eat like 3 of those every morning. But that's too much. Like it's probably like 800 calories or something. And that's when I started to gain weight, and it's quite easy to eat 3 of them. I live in the north of in Antwerp. And so yeah, my wife is a doctor, and the preferred gift of patients, like sometimes her patients they want to thank her, and the standard classic go-to is like a box of like pralines. How do you say that in English? It's like a box of chocolate, but like in Belgium, kind of famous for that. uh, so it looks like this. That's like the standard gift she gets. And then I just eat all of it. She gets it, and you know it's not my preferred thing to eat because I stay up at night a lot, and then at a certain point you start eating again, and you know my son is always complaining I eat everything, and I do, like, I eat everything. But if there's nothing left, I'll start eating those chocolate boxes. And sometimes we got like 3 or 4. Yeah, I'll still eat the whole thing. Like if there's nothing left in the house, I'll still eat it. Nice reference. Yeah, I think it's Kendall Jenner or something. Mhm. Is Belgium huge on snack culture? We have really good like bakeries, and they make really good and like chocolate makers. Uh, so yeah, you can get really good stuff here. Me up, calls me on the phone, gives me all the ways that mess me up. Feel. Not doing mentorships at the moment. No. The Patreon is kind of just to support what I'm doing here. I think because not really making any money off Twitch, but my idea is kind of like give these demos for free, and I hope that people like will support that or like that. But yeah. You won't. I won't give a class. I haven't been asked for new edge anymore, but I would. I would do it. Maybe if it's like I don't know when they're upcoming, but you know. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Mhm. See you, caffeine. Mhm. What's the benefit of the layers? All the layers for me are just some kind of undo state, basically. Like I can try things, play with the opacity and stuff, and then if I don't like it, I can just delete the layers, basically. Uh, yeah, you can do that. But I have like my I have my habits, so it's hard to like explain. It's like a nervous. Like I guess my brain is just wired to keep making layers, and I just do it constantly. So I'm not really trying to change the habit. So I'm slightly deviating from the reference here. Just kind of trying to make the drawing more interesting. I don't know. Thank you. Mm. Any advice on getting a first art job for someone with a character oriented skill set? So I kind of, not really. It's been a long time since I, had to like. So I'm really not sure like how I would go about it right now because it's kind of a different world. Um, I'm in the lucky position that I just kind of need patience before I get a job offer. Um, but the way I did it when I started was just by just applying everywhere, looking at the jobs that are posted, um, looking for companies who kind of have like a just a contact button also for freelance jobs. There's like companies they got like that we're always hiring uh stuff, right? Like it says on the site, like we're always hiring. It happens often with new companies, because in the at the start, nobody knows you, and you kind of have to, just get your name out there, and you have to realize that often people think that when they apply to something, their stuff gets like blocked by HR or something, but usually it's not the case. Just so like if you think you're ready and your portfolio is ready, you just gotta start applying to places. Um, and probably often a good bet is to try and get a studio job. Um, you know, kind of be willing to relocate to a place where there is a shortage of artists, for example, like Canada. I think in the beginning, you're just trying to like get whatever experience uh, you can, I guess. And I was the same way. So my first job was at a company called Volta. Um, then I worked as a storyboarder for a long time. My main thing I did was storyboarding, and then mixed in with like a rare character design job for animation. Then I started working for Borderlands for Gearbox. No, first they had a different project, it wasn't Borderlands, but eventually I got put on Borderlands. And then after that, I worked a bit for Axis Animation. Mm. Yeah, sure, you can do that. But to be honest, like I don't think my career path is like the most successful. The last few years, I had more success with social media, I think, um, and that's what kind of like got gets me more opportunities these days. Renee has a United Kingdom. Ooh, nice. Mm-hmm. Mm. So yeah, I think you really got like the production art, you know, down here, which is pretty good. I do feel like it's a bit too like manga influenced. Um, I think it would help you to kind of yeah try to go for more character in the face. Like I feel like when you're drawing faces, that it's kind of going too much in that, like kind of Naruto kind of vibe. Like the clothing is pretty cool, but I think like you can, yeah, you can give your work more, you know, more punch by, you know, going away from those typical faces. This one is, like the concept is pretty cool. Then I think like you should be looking for more unique faces. Um, like not just like, when you're going for a character that's like you know half deer or something, you can put a lot more in the face than just like your standard kind of like, you know pretty manga girl, right? Like try to imagine like a race of these guys, right? Try to imagine like what does the guy look like? What does the like the warrior look like? What does the older species, different ages, for example. What does the kid look like? Why are they wearing this type of armor, right? I think I think that can help you a lot, to create characters that are more like they belong, to a certain world where you, yeah, flesh out the. But that's also just my preference, like the thing that I like to do. Um, the- do you catch what I'm trying to say? Like you gotta come with something that nobody, like that few people have seen, and this kind of, like style that you're doing. And I think in I what I think in a lot of portfolios is that the designs are pretty good, like the clothing and stuff, but then the faces are, not that interesting. And I think like if you can do really good interesting faces, um, that have some more, like obscure references, more mature, more unique, um, pool of reference, basically. Like, I think that can like set you apart from other people. Like, why does Miyazaki's stuff, for example, look different than other type of manga? Like, you gotta be looking for, that kind of stuff. But yeah, like that's kind of stuff you need to just continue to work on. But yeah, I would just start applying to things. Can always start applying. Um, don't think of like when you're contacting a company, they're like you can contact companies, you know, and apply to stuff on a regular basis, without being like pushy or anything. But at a certain point, they might like think it's good enough, or they might have an opportunity or something. Mhm. I always kind of try to encourage people to set their design apart, um, with the ideas that they have. But yeah, I'm not the best person to. I don't think I'm the best person to ask this advice to, because I do kind of think I do things in a kind of weird way. When I started working as a video editor, I was still studying it at school. Thought I was pretty good. Turns out not at all, but they still hired me. Only when I started working, I learned at all the stuff I know today. And so I think waiting to be perfect before applying is a waste. Yeah, probably, yeah. Like I got an opportunity to work at Volta, and I was really bad actually, but they still gave me a shot. Um, so part of the reason why they hired me was that they were in Canada. I was willing to relocate. I spoke French. They liked my work, but I did a test for them. I was willing to work at a quite a low rate as well in the beginning. uh, so that was all kind of like part of it. I mean, they wouldn't have hired me if they didn't like my work, of course, because they probably had plenty of options to choose from. Yeah, their company was located in Quebec City, which is probably not the easiest, like the most popular place to relocate to. Like you won't have any U.S. concept artists like dying to go to Quebec City where they have to learn how to speak French when there's like so many other options. So they had artists from, yeah, from South America, from Asia, from Malaysia. from China, from French Polynesia, from basically anywhere. And it's cool that that was kind of like their way to find talent in a place that wasn't like the most popular. And uh, I would say explore the depths of manga. I would say most concept designers have good understanding of art history in manga. I don't know about that. I don't I don't know anything of manga basically. Aside from like Miyazaki. I think there's more to be done when you more to be gotten when you don't draw manga. I would say you're at an advantage if you learn how to draw faces as well as I do. Because there's not a lot of people who can do uh, really good realistic faces, and I get asked for that over and over. Basically, like uh, they're looking for someone who can do like these, uh, yeah, stylized, realistic faces. Um, that go beyond, um, yeah, just like these anime masks. Basically, they're looking for that, that character in the faces. Because with 3D, you can go so detailed, right? But and you can go, even these days, you can go so detailed with the 3D, and they need people to be able to like capture, yeah, that kind of those kind of faces. I think like having the old school drawing skill of you know being able to do like realistic stuff without the photography, the photographic copying, like the photo bashing. That's a pretty rare skill. Here I am, unable to draw a second eye on a face without character starting to look like a mutant. I would say when you do that, always focus on like this distance here, right? Often, you know, often people just draw this this area is too big, right? They put the eyes too far away, right? But instead of drawing an eye, I always draw like this inside of the eyebrow first, right? And then you kind of have your the point where the eye sits, and you can kind of draw the eye without even drawing the eye, just by drawing the stuff around it, right? So if you get this distance right, it becomes harder to uh, to fuck it up, mess it up. Sorry. Yeah, definitely. You should show that you're capable of just doing more than just that style. I mean, you can go all out, of course, but I just think like the competition is maybe too big then. Because you're kind of trying to do something what a lot of people can do really well. And if you try to infuse your work um with more information, right, you can go back to that style, and it will be something more unique, right? To me, it's about like getting as much as information as possible into my own style, right? I always try to push my level of detail, and if I learn about drawing some kind of anatomical detail, for example, through the studies that I didn't do before, I'll I'll put that in my work, from that moment on. Like I will draw an ear. When I draw an ear, I'll never do this. Draw something an ear like this. Like I hate that. I don't want like this teddy bear ear stuck to my. Even if I'm going super stylized, I don't want like a teddy bear ear stuck to my character. I'll always draw all the anatomical detail that I know of, right? Not all people do that. It's fine, but I choose to do that because that's what I see when people do stylized stuff. They always, do this kind of strange ear thing, right? I choose to do a stylized ear, but have all the anatomical detail that I know in there because I like doing that. And in the end, I don't see a lot of people doing that, so it can be a bad thing. Oh, you're tall? I'm tall? I'm not tall. I think you're talking about somebody else. I'm about 1 meter 77 centimeters. Yeah, I think what can set your work apart is that when you do a lot of, for example, life drawing from, when you draw a lot from life, as well as you okay, you're drawing from your influences and from references. But if you just copy the references, you'll end up as kind of like a clone, uh, right? You'll just end up like a clone of what you think is good. Those people are still alive, so you're like competing with the best. You're like, okay, it's a strategy. I think it probably works, but if you truly want something unique, then you gotta add your own observations from life into the mix. Because when you're drawing from life, like you just put yourself in front of like a subject, and if you do that a lot, you'll start seeing, observing things that are uniquely your own, and then you 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 add, yeah, you kind of add your own flavor to your work. And then when you go back to your original style, you'll add stuff that nobody has thought of. Mhm. And that used to be the standard we used to go to the conceptart.org website. That was kind of like the standard advice that the pros gave everyone, right? Just like do a lot of live drawing, draw from models, draw from, um, but with like the with things like YouTube and TikTok being like the main teachers these days, that kind of stuff seems like it's strange, but it seems like it's becoming very rare to get people who are drawing from life. Like they just want to skip that step. They want to go straight into the, just like the stuff you need to do for getting a job, but it's kind of the beauty of being young, and you can kind of, like learn. You can, test things out, do whatever. You might find something you like. Mhm. The side dead finally. Yeah, it seems like it's dead. Yeah, everyone was kind of just sharing their sketchbook on there, showing like how much they did. I find it interesting that nowadays style is synonymous with aesthetics in the art world. Style used to be about a movement. Yeah, it's the age of individualism, I guess. Mhm. Thank you, Frosty. I wonder if I need to add that black shadow to make this look good. Oh, I'm just testing stuff. Because in this case, I can never get that like super bright highlight feeling without adding a darker background. So I'm just wondering if I should add it. But at the same time, it's so much work with this technique. I am the prompt engineer. Oh man. Hey, Zedek, your comment is so spot on. It just describes so many art directors or ad guys I've encountered in Belgium. They're the reason why I don't like working for clients anymore. Like I've become like too grumpy of a person. I'm always thinking like you're gonna tell me what I gotta draw. Well, you kind of get the impression I could do your job at the same time. Just it's not always you need art directors and stuff, but Yeah, I had a job where I left the job because I had an art director, and yeah, I had this art director. It was great. It's like he's maybe like 1 or 2 years older. I've known him for a long time, and then they put that guy. And that guy was great, but then they put that guy on a different project, and then I got this this new guy, and okay, I understand he's got to learn, but then suddenly I had to listen to this guy. And then I just left. I couldn't take it. I had an art director who was blatantly ripping off your old style, telling you to be more original. Oh God. Oh, it's so painful. Mm. Or I was doing these packaging for this cookie brand, and they worked with this ad agency, and the ad agency basically they would hire people straight out of school, the school I went to, and then they'd give them like the art director job basically. uh, and the boss guy was kind of like is this like typical like shark basically. You know, is a guy like start companies left and right and then leave the company, and basically it's kind of a wizard with making money. uh and he's been he knew how to like turn make money in advertising, and he kind of did it by always hiring like young people. But then I was doing these packaging for these cookies, and then like the guy I worked with before, first the main the shark guy was doing that work. Then he gave it to someone else, and I knew the girl from school, like when I was I guess I did some teaching thing there, and then I recognized her, and then suddenly she was like my boss. And then she came with this reference folder for the characters, and then I just ignored everything she said. Yeah, I left the company. I didn't say why, but and now I'm just doing practice. Did she remember you? Yeah, probably. But I mean, I was nice to her, and she didn't do anything wrong. But just saying that's kind of hard at that moment to just like be able to take directions. Make it more relatable or make it more badass. Yeah. Or had this art director would just like with everything I made, like it was never happy. He didn't know what he wanted, like changing your idea a lot. Um, like they asked me to do this kind of, to draw something badass. Like they give all these Mike Mignola references, for example, and then everything they do in their paint over is completely different. Like you give exactly what it was, what they wanted, but then yeah, it was, wasn't. I guess it was too badass, and then suddenly it's too aggressive. That was kind of the comments I got with this other project. Like they're giving Mike Mignola references, which is, it's quite violent, right? But it then turns out it's just quite violent and dark. But then that's not good enough, and it was too much of that, and then it turned into something else. It's always something. Yeah, I shouldn't complain too much. I watched the interview of what's his name, Rob Bliss on Schoolism. He has this, and I was really feeling that guy. If you have time, you should check it out. It's like this jaded old man. Like he's worked on Harry Potter, but then the way he talks is kind of like I feel, I feel you. Like an old grumpy guy who's had enough of everything. Maybe a bit too much cynicism. I try to not to get too cynical, because that's not good for you. think it's like, yeah, it's kind of like fun to complain about stuff, but you also gotta be a bit careful with that because it's not a big industry. Because at some point you're you probably need need one of those guys. Marketing piece? No, it's not. Using concept art as marketing pieces. Yeah, sometimes they do that. Yeah, it's more popular to do that these days. They have more like art dumps, concept art dumps, instead of just like a very modified version of the actual concept art. They're just kind of as a promotion, and they kind of try to saturate ArtStation with these giant concept art dumps, and they didn't used to do that, and I think it's pretty good that they go for that. That they don't just like use it, that they Sorry, am I back? I think I'm back, right? Hello, hello. My setup is falling apart. Webcam. Is the sound okay? Ja. Wacht een seconde. Okay, I'm back. It was my sister, okay? Oh boy. I was taking care of my business. Probably make more money doing something else. Here in Antwerp, like in the harbor or something. Importer. There's been like a shootout spree in Antwerp in the last couple of months, like drug related incidents. There's like people shooting at houses and stuff. Like there was guys who were paid money to take out drugs in the harbor, and then they didn't deliver, and now there's like a drug dealer war going on, like people throwing grenades in the street, shooting at houses. And the news is always like, yeah, we are investigating if it has something to do with drugs. The police is investigating if it's drug related. Yeah, but I think it's like related to this family was supposed to take out or deliver, or they got like 150,000 euro to take out drugs, but then they didn't deliver or something. What I heard in the news. Yep. What am I doing? Putting so much work when I can just get it. Can just get it. I mean, like you gotta be able to do something with like prints and like Gumroad or stuff or something, right? Like who knows where Gumroad sales come from? like art prints or something. Like how could they check if it's really all these separate people who are buying your $100 art DVD? Like you go around, you give your friends like the money, like the drug money, and you say put this money on PayPal and then buy my drug DVD, buy my art DVD with PayPal, and then you get to keep $5 for yourself. Just an idea. It's not a manual, but Gumroad owners have some side business in Antwerp. What? Hey, it's my only income at the moment, so maybe I shouldn't be talking about it. Yeah, Antwerp has a big harbor port, so there's yeah they tested the sewer water, and there's more cocaine in Antwerp water than anywhere else. And a lot of people get caught with yeah, like they like drug age how do you say that, drug cartels are basically always looking for people who are working in the port to become like a uh, outtaker. So it's like they give so the drugs that comes in the containers of the ships, and it's so big, right? So you have the if you have like the river, right, and Antwerp is like this, right? This goes to the sea, right? It's very wide. It's a very big river, but then the port is like this, like all the companies of the port. So it's like in square meters, it's like bigger than the actual city. Of course, there's like a lots more towns, right? So in Belgium, the towns don't really stop. But yeah, like the in Antwerp, it's like very like it's a giant port, so they don't they can't check every container that arrives. Um, so even though they catch like a lot of stuff, it's probably like 1% of the stuff that comes in. So and the cartels like or the criminals, I guess they're looking for you know if you like work in the harbor in the port, you will get up like any let's say you go you frequent a lot of bars or whatever, it happens that you get approached to become like a guy who takes out the drugs from the containers, and there's been a lot of people caught with that. And it works with so many middlemen, right, that the the drug cartels, they don't really get in trouble for that, but the you know people who do that, a lot of them you know eventually get caught. It's just a matter of time. Might be 10 years or something, but in the end they still like lose all their money. Police, politicians, a lot, they're all compromised in Antwerp. Like, I think it probably goes really, really deep. Like police officers get caught and stuff. Um, there was this success of the Antwerp police where they were able to hack into this phone that the criminals, I guess, were using. It was called like Sky or something. And Sky was like encrypted phones, or they claimed to be encrypted phones. Um, so it was bought by a lot of like people with bad intentions, and they were using it. But the company um, selling the phones, the phones weren't that encrypted. So the police was able to hack that system. So I can't imagine that the phones were actually, well encrypted, because it's the Antwerp police. They're not like exactly known for their for their like IT department. They probably got like one whiz kid, doing internship there, was able to crack like the network or something. And then the police just took all the credit. And that guy is now working for Apple or something. Yeah, so they cracked the phone, and then they were able to listen to all of their conversations, um, and they were able to bust like a lot of people, like hundreds of people, and it didn't even make a dent into the activity, like nothing. It didn't change anything. Like the only thing that is kind of stirred up the bee's nests and made it unstable, right? So there's now more violence than before. Because I imagine they're like making good money at a point, and then like a big bust like that happens, then like uh, things happen, and like people get opportunities to take the power, and then there's they try to seize it, and then in the end it's just like more violence, right? I've seen cocaine hidden in avocado masked to look like a seed, but the avocado wasn't even cut. No idea how. um yeah, it might be you remove the little stem with a drill. It seems like, and then you drill inside of the or something. I don't know. Isn't that like a movie with where this woman becomes the kingpin, and then she has these dolls that turn into cocaine? Catherine Zeta-Jones. Yeah, maybe they do it when it's growing or something. But that must be a fun job, right? To be the to be like the cartel innovator. Seems kind of low risk. You get to be creative. Like their research department, like with James Bond. You go for the stem, hollow out the seed, put empty back in for cocaine. Yeah, crazy. Where to hide powder? Then they discover that, but you don't know how long they had been like shipping the cocaine filled avocados. Yeah, let's some tricks. That's cooler. Hello. So I think we're almost done now with this drawing. Ching. All right, I'm finished. So yeah, I have this. For those of you who don't know, I have this basically digital sketchbook here. Right now, I'm working on a series of figure drawing studies, but usually I would draw from imagination. Um, in this sketchbook, digital sketchbook. So all this stuff is drawn from imagination, uh, except for some stuff. But like for example, these little statues are. Um, so all of these little statues, for example, are is from photos I took myself in a museum here in Antwerp. Like this, they have all these cool objects. Um, so for example, in this page, this guy here is from reference. I took him off like this site explaining bad posture, like this doctor's website. And then I just try to make. Usually, when I draw from reference, I kind of try to make the face my own style, and suddenly it doesn't look like you're just doing copyright infringement. I try to give the stuff from reference my own touch to them. For example, this girl is also she's also from a piece of reference from Pinterest. But then in the reference, she's holding a teddy bear, so I changed that. This little guy was based on a picture of my newborn son. And yeah, my girlfriend didn't like this one, but I thought it was pretty good. Um, yeah, all this stuff from imagination. I kind of tried to do like you know some like plants or something instead of just people, plants and birds. It's my favorite thing to add, kind of liven up the page. Um, and this stuff is like these two are from from reference. These two from imagination, and these two are kind of like yeah, they're from reference, but I kind of just like gave them my own. At a certain point, I like to like put the reference away and then do my own thing with it. Because sometimes because of the mistakes you make, it's sometimes better, to finish it by yourself and then just improve what you have in your drawing instead of, frantically trying to get it closer to the reference. Because I think that's when you kind of like work it until it's dead. It's better to kind of put your own stuff in it. Um, yeah, this is all from imagination, except for this guy here, unfortunately. And this brings us to the current streak of figure drawings. So the goal with this one was kind of try and get that brightness of the dress. The bright highlights. What I kind of wanted to show. There's some more profile faces. Yeah, that's it. And I try to do everything with this one brush, this pencil brush that you can get on my Gumroad. Um, I like the idea that you just work with as a very simple tool, um, and then try to get better at it. Like Zedig also uses like one brush and does everything with it. Kind of the same idea. Because you can see, like, if you go to the very beginning, like everything. I also like this quality, but I'm able to put more like uh effect to the values and stuff. Um, and then after this, like a series of studies, I'll go back to drawing from imagination and see what came out of it. Um, PC specs, nothing special. I have a 10-year-old computer which is crashing all the time. Let's just say I can't update to the next Windows because it says the specs are too bad. Thank you, Active Battle. It's a desktop. Yeah, I have to get a new one. I'm mostly self-taught. I did go to a art school, but they can't really take credit for teaching me anything. So I still say that I'm mostly self-taught. I'm mostly taught by different artists. So I think by talking to a lot of different artists, I think I learned most of the things. Most of what I know about like light and values is from Karl Dobsky and like Michael Hussar when I went to a workshop. He he kind of told me some things that kind of opened my eyes. Like it's just mostly about um, observation, right? Because a lot of stuff is right in front of your nose, so he kind of just showed me like, okay, when you're drawing something, when you're painting an ear, right? Because I had these like little gouache paintings that I showed him, and it was just showing me like, okay, now look at the highlight on the forehead, right? Okay, you have white on the forehead, and then you have white on the ear. You painted white on both on the forehead and on the ear. But look at the model. Do you see, is the ear is the ear brighter than the forehead? I was like, it's super obvious when he said it like that. Like, no, the ear is darker. Okay, just like, okay, next time you paint, you just compare everything. And that was just kind of like super simple advice, but it's really useful. So like now when I'm painting, you know, when I'm painting this area, for example, okay, here you have an highlight, right? But is it the same value, right? It's not, so it's darker. So you need to follow that uh, rule all time, and you know, just take your time. That's something I learned from Coro, Justin Kaufman. He said, something like slow down when you're doing stuff. Also, very useful advice. So, for example, when I was in art school, uh, the way I used art school was like they had a model drawing class going on basically every second of the day, right? So every every major had their own. Uh, they had like 3 hours in per week. You had 3 hours, in your major. You had 3 hours in the model drawing class. So um, like the first year of graphic design, they had it Monday morning, and then we had it Monday afternoon. Um, and I just decided to go to all of them at a certain point. So instead of like in the final year, for example, we only needed to do this final project, um, and we had to like make an appointment with our. Uh, we had these like teachers who would guide us with our project. So the idea is that you make an appointment with them, you show your progress, they give their input. They guide you through like the entire project, um, and then you go home, you work on it, you make a new appointment. As that's the only thing we had to do that year, is make this giant project. Um, and I thought it was just like, okay, I'm just gonna go to model drawing class and then pretend I'm struggling with a project. That was kind of my plan. As I noticed, like I wasn't that good yet. I was like really fearful that I wouldn't be good enough to get a job. And I figured like I just have to go back to the basics and learn how to draw the figure by doing a lot of model drawing. So yeah, I would just go Monday morning, Tuesday, Monday afternoon. So I do, and then like that the entire week. So I would do 6 hours of model drawing per day, and I would just ask, if I could, sit in the class, and none of those teachers minded. I also didn't communicate that to my like uh, the teachers who were guiding my project, because I didn't want them to interfere. So I just like during the first half of the year, I would just like pretend the project. I wasn't like, I was changing my mind about stuff, but I wasn't really working on it. I was just making some quick like diagrams. I was making a story basically. My final project was make a movie story, and then do all the visual development around it, like design the characters and the storyboard and all that. So for half a year, I just kind of like pretended to be stuck on the story. But it gave them enough like information to give like input, so they weren't like getting suspicious of anything. And the years before, I already did that, but I skipped the theory classes. So we had like philosophy and stuff. Um, And yeah, I had this one. There was this one girl in my class who was really cool, and she would always give me her notes, and I'm very grateful for that. So instead of, yeah, just following the nicely what we had to do, I was kind of always thinking about, trying not to lose you know the goal that I had for myself. I didn't like get any good grades or anything during art school, but it wasn't really my intention. Because as I learned on conceptart.org, there's no one really asking um, for your degree. So yeah, are Belgian art schools aware of the entertainment industry? I think now they are. Yeah, back when I was there, they were not. I've been told by teachers that I kind of opened up the road for people, because right now there's all new teachers at those schools, but you know for the years after me, that they were suddenly aware that it's possible to do something like for games and stuff. So I kind of had to at least my struggle was helpful for some other student. like like two of the people in the because I'm in the shared space, right? Yes. So two of the people that are here are actually teachers there. So that's why I know that they told me. Is there any site that's still active today, like conceptart.org? I think you would like go to a certain Discord. I think Discord kind of took over in that regard. Like find a nice community where you can talk to people, but at the same time, yeah, sometimes Discord, like go to my Discord, for example, cool place. But yeah, people are still kind of just like throwing their stuff in the channel sometimes. So when conceptart.org was there, it was like people were giving a lot more critique, I think. But yeah, there was also a bit of like, you had to give critique always, all the time. It's also a bit tiring sometimes. Thank you, neighbor G. Competition was with eliminations. Yeah, there was this thing started by Bjorn Huri. He's also a streamer, called like Thunderdome. And then there was like it was like this competition with a subject matter, um, and they would like pair up artists, and then there were judges who would say, okay, this is the best piece, and then you'd move to the next round, and then you'd be able to like win the competition. No, I don't have a PC at home. I just have a laptop at home. But that was kind of cool back then. I never did very well on on those. I never like took the time to make like a super finished piece. So, any more questions? Oh no, I'm all stuck now. Not a very good chess player. Missed something. Oh. They get hundreds of arrows all over the screen. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Just been playing and trying to read a bit of like theory, but it's still too hard. Like you have to like study the openings, I know, and then like those really good chess players, they basically know every move up until a point, right? Uh, and then they'll say something like they'll make like 50 moves, and then they're like, okay, now, and then they'll say stuff like, okay, now it's pretty up until now it's been pretty standard, and then they're like 50 moves in, and that's when they have to like start thinking about stuff. How do I enter? I think you go to my Instagram and then go to the link tree. Then you can get you can get yeah, there's the link to it uh, there. Mm, now he has to move this pawn, or I take. Yeah, that was a bad idea, I think. Yeah, now we have a whole new game of chess. Now he has to move this, or he's stupid, or maybe he has a move that I don't see. Why did he do that? Take this one or that one? That wasn't very good. And I won. Okay, sorry, that was it's the end of the stream. Take care. Thank you for watching. I'm going to send you to Sims Art. Pretty good artist, illustrator. See you. Bye bye.